In today's episode, we're going to be talking about an Enxi guitar. Now, before I start this review, I want to let you guys know, I talked to the owner of this company, and when he sent the guitar out, his prices were over $1,000, and I let him know that I personally didn't think that the market would bear that. He's now put them under $1,000, and I don't know if that's still the right price yet, but what I want to tell you is that we're seeing more and more of this. High-end guitars coming out of China from small shops trying to make high-end guitars and put them at a more affordable prices. Now, $1,000 is not an affordable price, but they're trying to compete with $3,000 to $5,000 guitars. Today, I'm going to be assessing the guitar like I always do, which means we're going to be pointing out a couple issues I found with the guitar, and we're going to be pointing out some of the things that I was really impressed with the guitar. Like I always say, I'm not here to sell you anything, and if you just want to enjoy the content, which is really my goal, please sit back and enjoy. First, it is a Telecaster style body. However, what's different is it is chambered. It's an ash body that's chambered. It's also thin, much thinner than a standard Telecaster. In fact, this is about as thin as my SG. So if you picked up an SG, this is gonna feel just like an SG. The other thing it's gonna have, of course, a roasted maple neck. This is extremely dark roasted, as you know. I like them lighter colored because they're not so kind of hard. But in this case, they really went the extra mile and they kind of buffed everything to a high sheen. One of the things I have to tell you that's really cool is there's all these intricate carvings in this shaping right here where they really thin down the neck, and you can tell they started with a really thick piece of wood. This neck is very thin. I would say this neck feels kind of like the Charvel DK24s. That would be something I would say is very familiar to this shape. Definitely in the smaller neck profiles like Music Man. In other words, if you're looking for a really thin, small neck, kind of a la, you know, not so much Ibanez, but definitely Music Man, definitely the Charvel DK24, you're in luck. That's the kind of guitar this is. 12-inch radius fretboard, stainless steel frets. This is all standard feature stuff on this guitar. We always like to test the frets on this channel. One thing I will tell you is these frets are very detailed and polished, level with no high spots. And when we run the sock on the side, what we see is a few marks. You can see it didn't cause any heavy tears, but it is scratching them. On the other side, again, little scratches, not very deep. So not the worst frets we've seen, but not the best frets we've seen either. It's an oiled bone nut. It's locking keys. I think they're branded Enxi. Nowhere on the guitar does it say where it's made. Some of the things that I think are kind of odd choices are the, of course, first fret dot. Not my favorite thing. I guess it's nice because it separates it from the other guitars. It doesn't do anything to obstruct you from how you normally play. However, it's right there. It does have the side dot along with that. So there you go. The dots are mother of pearl. The pickguard is a very thick one-ply pickguard. So it's not one ply like where it's a thin piece. This is as thick as a 3-ply, just one ply, so very thick. It has the adjustable truss rod right there, spindle truss rod, which is ideal. You won't need any text to adjust this instrument for you. Then it has this crazy bridge that they make themselves. This is machined out of a piece of aluminum, but what's crazy about it is these adjusters look like they're floating. So it's really cool how they designed this bridge. I have to give it credit. In fact, I will say this. One of the things they probably should be looking at is building aftermarket bridges for Telecasters. This would definitely be something I would be considering to put on a lot of different Telecasters. The pickups in the guitar are Tone Rider Hot Classics, and the best thing about these pickups is I think they sound fantastic, and they're very easy on the wallet. So if you're thinking this guitar is out of your budget or it's not the right time to buy another Telecaster, you can consider these pickups. I found them online for anywhere between $72 to $99 for the set. Shipped pretty much anywhere, so something to consider. Let's give them a try and see how they sound. I'm gonna run the guitar through a Bad Cat Cub 40 player series into a 212 cabinet with vintage 30s. Go to the neck pickup. What they do that I really like is sometimes the neck pickup is very warm, but it's not very sweet. I know it's a weird thing when we use a taste to describe a sound, but sweet to me means the notes don't chirp and they don't not snap at you, and they decay off really pleasantly. The bridge is a little tighter, of course. And now it's got more of that chirp. Sound is an interesting thing in instruments because the way they react to the amp really dictates, to me in my playing, how I attack the guitar and how I want to pick. So I automatically back off when I'm picking, when I'm on the neck on this thing. But on the bridge, I just want to dig in. Middle position. It's a blend. You get the neck pickup, but you get a little bit of that bite from the bridge. Sounds good. And again, that neck, not too bassy, but very clean. You get the twang, which is what you want from the telly. But it's almost like this pickup has this, and I have the tone control full forward, same with the volume. It's like the pickup has the twang of the Telecaster, but not the bite. So it doesn't have that high-end bite. Some of you may not enjoy that. And some of you might prefer it that way. Me, there's a time when I want that, and there's most of the time I don't. So I kind of like it when it's just kind of, you know, just got me that, but not so bright that I can't take it. Middle position on the clean. Let's play that thing I was playing at the beginning of this video, the lick. Now when I played that in the song, I was playing it with the neck pickup. Of course you play with the bridge. It has this very interesting, very Ibanez-esque cutaway where it's rounded here, very nice. Of course, the guitar is very thin. We call this the handshake on the channel. We hold the guitar right here. Because the guitar is very thin, like I said, like an SG, it is very comfortable to hold this. However, this rounded part is still not super comfortable. And like I said, not anyone's gonna hold their guitar right here, but the concept is if you're gonna play up there, this is where you want it to be most comfortable, and it's okay. I mean, a far cry better than a lot of the Fender-esque style guitars. This is definitely, like I said, going for a Sir player. It's going for a Shishi player. It's going for a you know, a Tom Anderson player, maybe a Kiesel player. I mean, it's definitely going for somebody who's looking for more what I call performance-driven instrument. The only things I found that I didn't like about the guitar, there's a couple only things, and it's really all has to do with these electronics. The switch, the three-way switch, is the PC board switch, and it feels kind of flimsy. And it's hard to ding them for this, but I'd also be saying that if I was picking up the $2,000 Ibanez AZ. I don't like their blade switch either. This one feels not as good as the Ibanez one though. So, I mean, that's why I want to make note of it. It's something I would notate either way, but this, not so great. The other thing I didn't like is the knobs that they're using. What's happening is these have the adjustment screws on them, and they're on the wrong kind of shafts. They're not solid shafts. So the problem is they were a little bit, when I got it, they were a little bit wiggly. So I thought at the very least I would show you how to fix that. Basically, if you have this problem, let me show it to you what it is. So basically you have a adjustment screw on the side of this knob, and you have the split shaft control right here. And what's happened is you need a solid shaft for this to fit on because they're using the incorrect knob with this guitar. However, you can buy these. I'll put a link down below. This is a brass sleeve that you can buy that goes right over the split shaft like that. Perfect. And takes a second. Now that's much better. You can see this knob now is perfect, and how it's moving, that's how you solve it. You can buy those brass sleeves. Like I said, I'll put a link down below in the video. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? We have the bridge putting out at 9.9K and the neck at 7.52K. So again, about in line. Now, if you notice, I haven't tested the nut yet, and I know that's something you're used to seeing me do. Test the nut slots and make sure that they're perfect. However, I want to tell you they are perfect, but I want to talk about a secondary issue, and it's this. There's a little bit of rattle coming off the high E. So what they did is they opted to do no string tree. The reason is because they're using a staggered set of locking keys. And a lot of players thinks that solves the problem. It can solve the problem. A staggered set of tuning keys sometimes solves the problem and you don't need a string tree. But in this case, I'm gonna say it needs a string tree because here's why. Hear the rattle? Again. Now what I wanna do is, I'm E right now, I'm gonna down tune it. Push down to E, so you know I'm at E now, so you know. You can see the tuner right there, E. And you can see that that is almost gone. Now keep in mind, it's still there. It's not as bad as it was before. Now watch what happens. Down tune a little bit more. Push D. Now it's completely gone. It needs a string tree. And I'm sure one of the reasons they opted probably not for that is because the Enxi logo is placed there. There's two reasons why a lot of players don't like string trees. One, they think when you're using a tremolo system, it causes the guitar to go out of tune. There is some points to that. However, on a Telecaster, the usual kind of go-to for not wanting a string tree is a lot of country players like to do bends after the nut. And they want to do those kind of bends afterwards. So I understand that, and maybe that was maybe the decision for this. Now, color-wise, they call this something, I'll put it here so you can see it. That's what they call it, but it is Lake Placid Blue, and they nailed it. They nailed the Lake Placid Blue. Like a lot of guitars nowadays, it comes with a gig bag. This gig bag, however, is a borderline case. As you can see, it is highly padded, has this kind of leatherette kind of vibe to it, nice straps. So not only did it have this beautiful case, but then it came with all this kind of stuff that made this overwhelming experience pleasant. First, it came with a certificate of authenticity. This saying it's a vintage T, it's 25.5-inch scale. It's a 2-piece swamp ash body. It's a roasted maple neck. Very professional, very nice. And again, this is a small shop. These aren't big corporations selling you these guitars. These are small shops, just like you see around the world. You get a care toolkit, and this is interesting. You push in on this little door, and then it ejects out. And then it's all of the Allen wrenches, screwdriver, tweezers, everything you need to make adjustments to the guitar. Not sure why you need tweezers, but they're there. Then you get this, it's like another, again, leather type product. Of course, it looks like a little care shaving bag. If you ever stay at a really high-end hotel, sometimes they have things like this. Here's what it comes with, a different switch tip for the guitar. So the switch tip on the guitar is black, but you get a chrome one to choose from. See, really interesting right there. Then you get this, you get picks, but unlike everyone else's picks, they're in this beautiful display case that I keep dropping everywhere. See, I should have got the table out for this. And there's like 3 different styles. You get some stickers, you get Enxi stickers, different kinds, another polished cloth. So there you go. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. To the next time, know your gear.